So I chose the pub culture in Bodmin, and I chose it because it's a good way to bring the community together, especially when you reach 18, you go out drinking with your friends, and you have a good time. And I think it's definitely a good way that people socialise these days, is go for like a pint down the pub or something.
Okay, my name's Russell. I'm the General Manager of the Masons Arms in Bodmin.
So, my name is Emma Dow. I am the landlady of the Garland Oxon Bodmin, which I co-own with Shannon Josie, who is our other pub, which is the Rockin' and Roach.
My name's Stephen Hall. I'm the licensee here, and we're at the Hole in the Wall.
What's your favourite thing about running a pub in Bodmin?
To be honest, I think it's the people that you get to meet. That means the staff, the locals, and also just the enjoyment of we really worked hard to sort of bring the food back to the Masons, and seeing all the positive reviews on the food is for me personally one of the best parts.
I've got a wonderful pub here, and really it's the people, the customers are really nice people.
I just love the atmosphere, when the bands come and play, keeping it alive every night. We do various things: darts, pool, euchre, bands, just lots of people basically.
Masons Arms has been here technically since 1822 as part of Bodmin, on the current site from around 1840, and it was taken over by a chap called Samuel Tabb, who was a carpenter, and that's when it arrived at this address. And then we've got a William Harvey was listed as an innkeeper in 1861, and obviously been through many other hands since then to where we are now. And it's it's an historical part of Bodmin, and was a bit bigger originally. So originally it took over 3 buildings. We're now only 2 buildings, but it's always been a important part of the community, I think.
The pub, it goes back to 1749 when it was a debtor's prison. It predates Bodmin Jail, so it's got a lot of history, and it closed in 1779 when Bodmin Jail opened. Then in about 1840 it became a depot for the Red Roof Brewing Company, and that's how it got its licence, and didn't become a pub until the late 1930s.
Is there any history with this pub?
Yeah, it's over 200 years old. It's had a lot of changes. I've been in this pub ever since I was a kid, visiting with my dad. There's a lot of history, I think the locals will be able to tell you more history about the pub than I would.
What sets this pub apart from the others in the area?
What we hear the most is the friendliness. We get some really nice comments about, what it's like when you wander into somewhere that you don't know. Sometimes it can be a little bit unnerving, but we've got so many really positive reviews that mention, warm welcome, kind staff. I just think it's somewhere where anybody could walk in and feel right at home. So.
It's a real character pub. It's well known. It's what you call a proper pub, and we have a wide selection of award-winning real ales.
Yeah, so all the other pubs are quite modern as well, aren't they?
I would say so, but I still think they're good pubs in their own right.
Darts, we have a very big darts following. Bands, the locals kind of make it what it is. That's about it.
What role does this pub play in bringing the community of Bodmin together?
I think pubs, not just this one, but pubs alone are a really important part of sort of community spirit. There's a lot of people that may not have large families or large groups of friends, so the pub for them is their family, is their is that sort of familiarity, where they can share things from their day, but also it's just a really good place to get together, I don't see anywhere near enough of my sort of extended family, but coming together for a nice meal, meeting up for a drink here, that's it's just a great place to meet. And obviously when you see things like the rugby being played and you get big crowds in for that, it's just a lovely sort of community event really. So.
As I said, it's a real locals pub. We do get tourists here, but we allow organisations such as Lions, Pagans and all sorts of other organisations to use our upstairs. It's free of charge, so they get to use the upstairs quite widely.
So we have a big function room and we offer it out. People can have their meetings here. As I say, people come in, euchre, there's a lot of older generation, they like to play cards, there's no euchre league anymore, so they come here every week, gets people out, different various bands, gets different various peoples out.
What challenges does the pub face and how do you plan to overcome them?
Okay, so under our tutelage we have faced more challenges I think than most. So we took over in very early 2020. We were then obviously faced with the COVID pandemic, which was a bit of a shock to the system when we were all sort of set to go and having to close the pub so early. However, it did enable us to do a lot of work that we probably would have taken a longer time to achieve. But then's come the sort of economic crisis, and the increase in prices over the last sort of 3 years have been astronomical. We've tried our hardest to keep prices further down by taking a sort of cut on our sort of what would normally be your profit margins, and unfortunately that is going to increase. So we need you need the communities to use these spaces, and I don't just mean us, to help them survive. Pubs are closing at an alarming rate across the country, and I think pubs have to work just as hard to engage with the community, but the community need to use everything that's available in Bodmin really to keep them afloat, because things are not coming down price wise, unfortunately.
All right, that's all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you.